All right. Hey, Candus. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Give me a minute.
No problem. All right. So, for those of you watching while we're waiting for Candace, you'll, I'm sure you've noticed that the chat is turned off. That was my promise to her. I do not want her being attacked in any way, shape, or form. We got Benny's side of the story regarding the phone yesterday. Last night we talked for 3 hours. I want to give Candace a fair opportunity to be able to explain the phone. Now I don't know how successful that's going to be tonight, considering um, the obvious right now. But I'm going to do my best because I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to do this again. Uh, I would prefer to do this under different circumstances, but
I'll be right there in a minute. Can you hear me?
I could hear you. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I had to go put some clothes on. It got kind of cold out here tonight.
No problem. No problem. I want you as comfortable as possible.
What's going on, bud?
Not much. So as promised, the chat is disabled. So, there's not going to be any attacking, nothing like that happening here. I wanted to give you a fair shake. Uh, you
I
know,
appreciate that.
I'm glad and I appreciate you agreeing and coming on and talking with me. Because I uh I had a 3 hour conversation yesterday with Benny about this
Yeah,
phone, and I'm a straight shooter and I'm a fair player, man. So I'm not just going to take. I've never done that with my channel. I'm not just going to take his word on something without getting your side
right.
of all this. You understand?
Yeah,
Um,
of course.
and my only concern, and I take pride in the people that I consider faithful listeners of mine. Our only concern is that Summer is found and hopefully safely.
Mine too.
Okay. So, and until I have reason not to believe that, I believe you. Okay.
Yes.
I have been very, very candid about that. Um, but this thing with the phone is the one thing, as I said last night talking to Benny, it's the one thing that's making me go, ooh, that's, you know what I
Well,
mean?
let me tell you about the phone.
Okay, so what I was going to ask you real quick before you do, start from the beginning as far as the phone goes. How?
Okay. I don't really want to say a whole lot of names, but I'm going to tell you. I'm going to sit out there and say Tim Mullins.
Okay, yeah, I know about Tim Mullins.
All right, he brought me Donnie's jacket, his keys to his car, his wallet, and all that.
Okay,
Okay, so I said, "Where's Donnie's phone?" He goes, "Oh well, he must have took it into the court with him." And knowing in my mind, you can't take a phone into the courthouse. You
Okay.
can't do that. Not in Hawkins County, you can't.
I don't know if you can actually take it into the courthouse or not.
You
Um,
can't. I'm telling you right now, you can't.
okay. So, but how do you explain? Because what Benny is saying, I don't know if you're aware of this, but what Benny is saying, and what Benny is also saying, besides him saying this, is that he has a recording of you saying this, that Tim Mullins handed you Don's phone from the courthouse 2 weeks later after he had the phone. Two
Yes.
weeks later.
2 weeks later, after Tim finally gave the phone up,
So
after he recorded everything off of Donnie's phone onto his computer, pictures, text messages, whatever, he recorded it all on his laptop, and then he finally gave me the phone.
okay. So 2 weeks later, so the phone ended up in your possession 2 weeks later.
Yes, it did.
Okay. Now,
Okay, then I took the phone and I gave it to the uppers. And I have not touched that phone or talked on that phone since.
okay, you gave it to the who now?
I can't personally say who I gave it to, but I give it to the uppers.
Okay,
Like, to,
did you give it to okay, and how was the phone given to you?
it was given to me wrapped up off in a plastic bag.
Okay. All right. Now that's consistent with what Benny's saying. Now, um what I'm curious about is uh when you say the upper, can you I know you can't name names, but can you specify, is it a law enforcement agency?
You could pretty much say that, yeah.
All right. Is it a private investigator?
I can't say. I'm not allowed
Okay.
legally to say.
Okay. So, and has that phone been in your possession since then?
No, sir.
Okay. So you're saying that you gave this to a may or may not be a law enforcement agency of a sort, right? But you gave it to them and then you have not had it since.
Right.
Okay. So you don't have it's okay. So what you're saying, okay, now are you in possession of the data that was downloaded from that phone by Tim Mullins? Has he
No,
shared that
sir.
information
No,
with you?
sir. Not at all.
Okay, he has not shared that information with you.
No.
Okay. And so I guess what it boils down to then is this person who you don't want to name uh, has the phone, and it's up to them to turn it into law enforcement. And it's definitely up to Tim Mullins. So at this point, I'd like to find out if Tim Mullins has taken that information that he downloaded and did the right thing and turned it into law
I
enforcement.
haven't talked to Tim Mullins over 2.5 weeks.
Okay. Now, 2.5 weeks ago, okay, or any time before that, did he indicate to you in any way, shape, or form that he turned that phone or turned that data into law
The
enforcement?
only thing Tim told me was that he downloaded everything off that phone onto his laptop.
Okay. But he did not say that he turned it into law enforcement.
No.
Okay. So, I mean, so at this point, so at this point, I mean, then it's not on you to turn the phone in. You turned it into, but now now here's my thing. If you had the phone, and I'm not trying to attack you here,
No. I'm
if
good.
if if you had the phone and you turned it in to someone, why would you turn it into someone who is not officially law enforcement, who is not TBI, FBI, or Hawkins County Sheriff?
Okay. Let me say this. If TBI or FBI or law enforcement asked me for the phone, I would tell them where it is, but they have not asked me for that.
Okay. Now, there's another question about the phone. There's a phone that you said that was in your possession when you spoke to Chris McDonough, and you said that there was a phone that was still in your possession. And
No, that was the phone. That was the phone the time that I talked to Chris McDonough. And then after I got done talking to Chris McDonough, that was my phone and Donnie's phone that TBI and FBI already took everything off of.
okay, now I'm also getting, again, this is all hearsay, so
Right.
um, I'm also getting word that there's the YouTube account. There was a YouTube account. You had your YouTube account, but then there
Yeah.
was the Don and Candus YouTube account, right?
That
But
was the
that was on Donnie's phone, right?
I'm not so sure about that because Tim's made a few different ones.
So Tim makes these accounts.
Right. I only have two YouTube accounts. There's one that's Candace Bly, which is on my computer, and then there's a Candy Bly one that's on my phone. I only have those two YouTube accounts. The rest of them I don't.
Right. Now, the thing is, the strange thing here is we're never going to know exactly what, and the truth is I don't want to know what law enforcement actually has as evidence. That's the kind of thing that messes up their investigation.
Right.
So I don't want to interfere with that, because our mutual interest here is that Summer is found, or at least
And that's
answers to
it.
what happened to her are discovered. Yes or no?
That's it.
Okay. So now, if based on what you're telling me right now, it's just a question of whether or not whoever you gave the phone to got it to law enforcement. Because I'm of the opinion, and a lot of other people are of the opinion, because I want to hear your opinion on this. Most people are of the opinion that, and I'm, this is my opinion as well. As soon as, if my child went missing, I would be like, take everything, get everything. If, because obviously, if you had nothing to do with it, or
I
Don had
had
nothing to do
nothing to
with it,
do with it.
right? I'm just saying, if you had nothing to do with it, Don had nothing to do with it, Grandis had nothing to do with it,
Please don't
then
call my mom that. Please don't do
I
that.
apologize. That's what they call her here, and
I know.
I
Please don't do that.
my apologies. I didn't mean any
Thank you.
disrespect. Um,
Thank you.
but if none of the three of you had anything to do with Summer's disappearance, and all you want to do is find her, if I'm in that position, I'm going to be like, take all my tech, everything, just so you could stop looking here and move on and get to finding who took my daughter.
You know what? They can have my old phones. They can have my old computers. They can have my new phone. I don't care. They can have it all.
Okay. So,
I have no problem with that.
but why? I'm curious, and I'm sure a lot of other people are curious. Why what would be the motive behind Tim Mullins downloading all of the information off of Don's phone? For what
That's the
purpose?
part I'm confused with.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, we're all confused about that. And
Right.
why did it take him 2 weeks to get it back to you?
Right. That we all are wondering that too.
Okay. Okay. And give me a little background on Tim. All right. How how do you guys know Tim? How'd you meet him?
Okay, I don't really know Tim a whole lot, but Tim showed up at like maybe the first or second visual of summer at Borden's Park,
Okay.
and that's when
Is he from your area?
Donnie,
Does he live in your area? Is he from
he's
your
from
area?
Kingsport.
Okay, so he's not far from. Okay, so he's not
So
far from
like
Rogersville at all.
right. I don't personally know Tim, like just about what he says, but like I don't trust him, like personally. I
Okay,
mean Donnie does, but I don't.
okay. Um, now, you don't need. I'm not asking you to go into any specifics here if you're not comfortable, but we hear rumors about Don and things that he's been engaged in, uh as far as illegal activity. I mean, we know that he's one to break the law because he's currently in jail.
Well, that's
that's
Donnie.
not
I'm not into
deniable.
breaking the law.
That's undeniable. He's in jail. I mean, if he broke the law, that's where he belongs right now. He's got to do his time, be a man, and do it.
I mean,
Nobody's
you do the
disputing
crime,
that.
you do the time.
Exactly. Right. So, but is
And I'm
there
not here to
anything?
throw. I'm not here to throw Donnie under the bus or anything like that
And
either.
I'm not asking you to. I'm not asking you to. What I'm going to ask you, and if you feel comfortable answering it, I'd appreciate it. But I'm not asking for specifics either. Is there
Okay.
anything on Don's phone that you know of that could incriminate him? Not necessarily as far as what's not necessarily as far as what where Summer is involved. I'm saying anything.
I don't know because I don't get into his phone.
Okay, so you don't have his password to get into it, nothing like that.
No, not whatsoever.
Okay, so yeah, Don's phone is his phone, and you don't have any knowledge of what's in his
That's
phone.
very true. I don't know nothing about Donnie's phone. I don't mess with it. It's an iPhone, and I don't mess with iPhones because I can't understand them.
Yeah, I'm the same way with Android. I use an iPhone. I don't understand Android. So
I got an AT&T phone, and that's all the further I go.
right. I understand. I get all that. So Tim just showed up. Tim just showed up at, you said, the second visual for
I
Summer?
think it was the second or third prayer vigil that they had at Borden Park for Summer. Yes.
Right. Okay. And I mean, what is his explanation to you as far as his interest in the case?
He's trying to say that he's the meteor for our family, but I don't. Well, why do you need a meteor for my family? Like,
Okay.
what
I
is
mean,
that?
okay. I mean, but what he's been doing, my understanding of his role in all this is the person who set up your website for Summer, has, basically done the public relations, give her, for lack of a better term, the public relations stuff
I
involving.
mean, that would be Tim. That's all Tim.
Right. Okay. And you don't have any, he doesn't need your approval for anything that he puts out there or anything like that.
He didn't need my approval because Donnie gave his approval to
Okay.
him.
So that's all. Uh, all right. So Donnie, okay. So basically it was just him working with Tim, and everything involving Tim went through Don and not you, is what you're saying.
Right.
Okay. Now let's talk about for a second the latest comments from Sheriff Lawson, saying that when he said they aren't being cooperative right now and they've gotten lawyers.
That blew my mind.
Okay. What do you think would be his reason for saying that? Because do you currently have a lawyer?
Okay, I don't. I probably shouldn't say this. I don't know, but I have a lawyer for my boy.
Okay, so you have a family lawyer.
But then when my attorney told me, she said, "Don't talk to nobody."
Yeah.
So I went through with that, and I haven't talked to nobody. It's not that I'm working against law enforcement because they're more than willing to come up to my hill and talk to me anytime they want to.
Right.
And I said that on the news.
Well, any lawyer is going to tell you that. That's a lawyer's job, is to tell you to shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe I should shut the fuck up sometimes.
I mean, if I'm being honest with you, if you want my personal opinion, because I mean, you're straight shooting with me, I'm going to straight shoot with you. Right. I mean,
right.
A lot of people, what their problem is with you is you going on every YouTube channel, Don going on every YouTube channel, you starting your own YouTube channel, not really using your YouTube platform to spread information on Summer, but to talk about things that I find completely irrelevant, such as Ernie. Who the fuck is Ernie, and why the fuck does anybody give a fuck who Ernie is regarding Summer's case? Why does anybody give a fuck about Andrew regarding Summer's case?
Right.
It doesn't make sense to me. Like
Who cares about that shit?
to me, all of this stuff is exactly what Sheriff Lawson warned everybody about and saying this is the stuff that messes up our
Can
investigation and
I
makes
say
us hard.
something to you?
Please.
The only reason why I started my YouTube channel was to show pictures of my kids and my family and how happy they were.
Okay.
That was the only reason for that.
Okay. No, I'm listening to you. I'm just
Because, man, I'm not into these questions and answer crap on YouTube and all that. I just wanted to show how happy our family was before summer got gone and my kids are being taken.
right. Um,
That's the only reason why I started the YouTube channel. The only reason.
okay, so you're saying that I mean because that was always my my impression, because like I like to look at things objectively. I'm not the type of person, I don't jump on those bandwagons of people. I thought what these you know idiots, the heels on the ground people were doing to you and did to you was despicable. I have spent most of my content in the last few months pointing out how shitty they are and why that's shitty. And it's basically because people have formed opinions of you and Don regarding Summer's disappearance based on no actual evidence or information that would lead to a logical conclusion that you or Don had anything to do with Summer's disappearance. And
Man,
I'm going to be honest with you, I still don't know. I'm not sitting here saying that I think you're innocent because I don't know, but I'm not going to sit here and say that I think you're guilty either because I don't know.
I could sit here and go over what happened that day and all that crap with you.
Mhm.
I could do that because I did that with law enforcement. It doesn't bother me. But to people that sit there and poke holes and all that, like, okay, oh, did you take out the trash? Oh, well, did you do that? Did you pour a gallon of milk? Why does that even matter, man?
Well, it's not their place to
The
even
point is that
it's not any of our place to do that. These are people who
it's law enforcement's place.
I agree with you. I agree with you. This is something that I've consistently said on my channel. Um, I'm just, this whole thing, as far as the phone goes, it's a question of, it's not a question of what's on the phone. I'm not trying to find out what's on that phone.
I don't know what's
It's not,
on the phone.
it's not my place to try to find out what's on that phone. My question I'm trying to find out if you are actually being fully cooperative with law enforcement in order
Of
to
course
find your
I
daughter.
am, all the way to the T.
Okay. Because yeah, I mean, Sheriff Lawson is saying for some reason that you're not, and then I thought that might be a connection to the phone because that was the only thing that I could think of.
No,
Because
if TBI or FBI or any of them come up to my house and want to talk to me, they are more than willing to talk to me, and I will tell them.
okay, now and they've searched your property, correct?
They've searched my property at least 8 or 9 times that I can think of.
Now, did they serve warrants to serve your property, or did you willingly let them serve your
No,
property?
I willing them no warrant at all. I let them do it willingly.
Okay, I mean, you know,
And
so
they can come back tomorrow and still search the property without a warrant. Search the property. Go ahead.
all
There it
right,
is. There's my house. Do it.
okay, and so what if they showed up right now and asked you for your phone that you're talking to me on right now?
Take it. If you want, take it. There it is.
Yeah, I mean, so basically what you're saying here is there's as far as you're concerned, you have absolutely nothing to hide.
I have nothing to hide at all.
And you don't know if Don would have anything to hide on his phone.
I don't know because I don't get into his phone.
All right. Now, are you 150% convinced that Don had absolutely nothing to do with
Man, I'm not 150% of chance of anybody, anything doing with this. I don't know. I can't tell you
Okay.
because I don't know.
Do you have any suspicion ever?
I have a lot of suspicion.
Okay. Anything you want to elaborate on?
Um, let me sit back and say, I have a problem with Allie, Jose, Jody Sue, Andy, Donnie. I mean, I could list a whole bunch of people.
Yeah. I mean, that's my thing. Candace, if I'm being honest with you, uh, you know, my recommendation to you is just to stay the hell off social media at this point, if I'm being completely honest. Like,
I'm trying to,
because
but
well,
it's
because
like these
let's say
people pull me in and piss me off.
I get it. I get it. And you want to react. And I totally understand that. That's human nature. Like it would take some superhuman strength to dig deep for and find the strength to resist jumping on somebody's panel or getting in somebody's chat and being like, what the hell are you talking about? Blah, 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 blah. I get all
Man,
that.
I have
But
nothing but to be truthful and tell the truth because I don't know how to lie. I can't lie.
well, this is the thing. You've got to understand something. This is something that I talk about all the time is the reason why all of this is bad is because if someone that you know, let's assuming that you, of course, assuming that you have no knowledge of what happened to Summer, of course, um,
Right,
if someone that you know actually had something to do with Summer, and then you're giving opinions on these people and you're talking about these people, you don't know if that person is going to end up having a case built against them, and then they end up going to trial, and then
right,
what happens is their defense attorney can probably take things that you said about them on a YouTube channel or a social media platform, and they
right,
can say that you hindered the investigation, and they could use that. And then what happens? No justice for Summer. If they find out what
right.
happened to her, there's no justice for her. You see what I'm saying? Now,
Yeah,
I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt that it's just not something that you're privy to and you don't think about. You're just like, let the cops find out and do their job. And you don't realize that you going on YouTube channels can be twisted by a defense attorney and used to get somebody who may be responsible for what happened to Summer off. You see what I'm saying?
yeah. I get it.
Like that, it like a jury already is Ryan Upchurch going and talking about this and acting like you did something, and you know something and Don knows something. Like, how many? That dude has 3 million subscribers, the majority of which are here in Tennessee. I'm an hour away from you. I'm in Knoxville. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows who that dude
I'm
is.
about
You know how
45
hard
minutes
it
from
is.
you right now.
Right, right. You realize how difficult it's going to be to pick a jury if they actually make an arrest.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? And
right.
nobody's talking to you about this because everybody is just trying to get the interview with Candus and blah blah blah. You know, that's why I'm not monetizing this. That's why the chat is shut off. I don't give a shit about that.
Man,
I want justice for Summer. Period.
I want justice for my daughter.
Okay, so Candace, do yourself a favor, do Summer a favor, get the fuck off social media altogether.
All
Just
right,
stop.
I'm gonna do it because you told me to do it.
Do it because it's what's the best thing for your daughter
Yeah,
in the big picture, in the grand scheme of
you're
things.
right. You're right. You are right.
I know I am, man. And I appreciate you acknowledging that. I appreciate you coming up here and having an open mind and talking to me, and
And
being so candid with me.
I'm gonna thank you for letting me have a voice tonight.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. If I didn't tell you to stay the hell off social media, I'd love to have you on here again. But
Right.
now, if you feel the need for whatever reason, and we could discuss, you have my number. I texted it to you. So at any
I
given
got it.
moment you want to talk to me, we can talk in private. And if there's some weird reason necessarily that we need to go live again, you are more than welcome to come on my channel again.
Thank you.
All right. So as far as the phone goes, we got your side of the story.
Yes,
And
sir.
so you're saying, just to summarize real quick, you're saying once the phone was given to you, okay, this is another question that I didn't ask you. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
How long did it take you to give the phone to this fourth party that you gave the phone to? Once it was
One day.
one
One day.
day, once it was given to you by Tim Mullins, it took you one day to give it up.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah, I honestly don't have any more questions. I'm not going to ask you about details about that day because I've heard you answer them a million times, and I'm just not going to do that. I don't see how good
Thank
it's going to
you.
do. Um, but yeah, I would highly recommend to you to just stay the hell off of YouTube channels. Ignore what people are saying because you're just got a bunch of vultures who have
Yep.
made up their minds based on nothing, and
Yep.
just ignore it. Ignore it. Let law enforcement do their job. You know, let
That's
them.
exactly right.
If they told you to stop doing it, it's for the good of finding your daughter. If a lawyer
Yep.
told you to stop doing it, it's for the good of them finding your daughter.
Yep. And it's 10:30 at night, and I'm gonna go crawl in bed and go to sleep.
Well, good for you. Good for you. All right. Thanks for joining me.
All right. You have a good night.
You as well. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, guys. That's as much as I'm willing to do as far as talking to Candus. If that, I hope that was satisfying enough for you. If it wasn't, sorry. But that's that's all I'm interested in. That's all any of us, in my opinion, should be interested in. And I'm, I love hanging out with you guys in chat and interacting with you guys in chat, but um, let me think for a second. Nope, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Anyways, guys, I love you. We will do this again very soon, my friends.